бүгін қадірменді жиналған қауым, құрметті біздің қонақтар, әріптестер және де қымбатты студенттер. Баршаларыңыз бүгінгі арнайы ұйымдастырылып отырған ашық дәріс сабағына қош келіпсіздер. Елбасы Нұрсұлтан Әбішұлы Назарбаев 21 ғасырда өз халқын сапалы біліммен қамтамасыз ете алмаған мемлекеттің тығырыққа тірелері анық деп басып айтқаны белгілі. Сонымен қатар қазіргі таңда халықаралық білім стандарттарына көшудің ең маңызды алшарттарының бірі бұл тілдің үш тұғырлығы екендігін ескеретін болсақ, онда әрине осынау ақпараттану заманда біздің пәніміз ақпараттық коммуникациялық технологиялар пәнін ағылшын тілінде оқып үйрену әрине ең маңызды жағдайлардың бірі болмақ. Итак, позвольте начать нашу лекцию. Добрый день всем. Я очень рада приветствовать всех на этой открытой лекции. Позвольте представиться. Меня зовут Жамалова, кандидат технических наук, старший преподаватель кафедры информатики. Но учитывая, что сейчас у нас компьютерный век, век цифровизации нашего общества, наш президент страны Нурсултан Абишевич Назарбаев в статье «Взгляд в будущее» отметил, что каждому казахстанцу, как и нации в целом, необходимо овладеть набором качеств, достойных 21 века. Это компьютерная грамотность, знание иностранных языков и культурная открытость. И в этой связи изучение нашего предмета на английском языке, конечно же, является, на мой взгляд, особо важным аспектом вообще в развитии нашего государства. Итак, мы начинаем нашу лекцию. So let's get started. Hello for everyone again, and you are welcome to attend this lecture. And today I want to share with you my knowledge in communication information technologies, and I hope it will be useful information for you. The theme of our lecture is, you view on the slide, the theme of our lecture is cloud technology or cloud computing. At the same time, we have the plan of our lecture. Today the plan of our lecture is the deployment model and the different structure. So first of all, we get to know about cloud technologies and the modern infrastructure, difference between cloud technologies, deployment models, the main benefits and disadvantages. By the end of our lecture, we are going to achieve these purposes. The main purposes of our lecture is to familiarize with cloud technologies, then to be capable to be independently manage the processing, storage information, etc., and to distinguish different types, deployment model, including different models, and to be capable to use different cloud service, to work with cloud service. And before our lecture, just a minute, I want to refer to my students. Dear my students, today I have prepared for you questions like questionnaire. These questions includes about if you have questions or problems, or if you face up a problems and problematic situation by using cloud technology or internet and computer technology. You should describe this matter in detail and please send by email, and my address is indicated here. Okay? Did you catch? And who is attending here? After, please come here, and I want to give you, and please give them out each other. But this work you should do after our lecture. Okay? Yes, please give them each other. Then I hope today attending all the students. Then let's get started our lecture. So, cloud technology and cloud computing. What do you have and what do you think about it? Have you heard anything about it? And let's discuss about it. Maybe someone among you has already used the cloud technology in your everyday life. Who is ready to share with his opinion or her opinion? Who is ready to answer these questions? Dear students, who is ready? Gauhar wants to say something about cloud technology, please.
Everyone is talking about these cloud technologies, and we know it's what it does mean. And more and more we are seeing technology moving in the cloud. And it's not just a fad. The shift from traditional software models to the internet has
a different models of computer technology.
Government over the 10 years, last 10 years.
Yes, I agree with you. And who else to add information as Aurora? You want?
I want to add a few towards to the world grammar, the internet has become an integral part of people's lives and appear regularly new features, facilities, the performance of various tasks. The new cloud technology and that can be applied in different areas: education, medicine, logistics, and so on.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right too. Because every single day, everyone just doesn't work without it. It's not just communication, because you are able to promote your learning, studying, for example, you promote your job, so you are able to swap up and even enrich your experience, maybe, I don't know, maybe in the abroad with, I want to emphasize, with distinguished scholars. Yes, you are able to receive very important and needing necessary information for you, for your study or learning, not just communication. And anyway, it gives us just incredibly tremendous opportunity, everyday life. And who else wants to share with your opinion and give your questions and give your point of view?
It's perfectly starting it. There is one thing that use cloud needs internet, and it says.
Yes, okay. And Elsa, who is Elsa? You're right too, and everyday life you usually very often, yes, very open, because cloud technology, and the cloud technology is usually for instance, for students, not just for students, for teachers too, and for scientists too, yes, everyday life we usually use the cloud technology. And for instance, you're correctly right, and I completely agree with you, and I want to say that, just imagine, we all together, we are going to work on the project. But regarding the different varieties of reasons, we have no time, and what should we do? In this case, cloud technology will help us. And I want to say that the cloud technology usually used all the time, like information technology over the internet. And cloud technology on the project, on the working, will help us. How exactly? Let's find out it. And in order to clarify this lecture and questions much more in detail, much more easily and comprehensive, I decided to show us a video film about cloud technology which emphasize and explain us why and how cloud technology are so convenient for us. Please pay attention on the board, and you're welcome to watch.
You have big ideas to streamline your business and drive sales through the roof. But to get there, your ideas need business apps. And business apps have always been too expensive, especially in times like these. Behind each one is a world of complexity. They need a data center with office space, power, coolant, bandwidth, networks, servers, and storage. A complicated software stack, and a team of experts to install, configure, and run them. You need development, testing, staging, production, and failover environments. And when there's a problem, good luck. You call technical support, and they don't know, so they blame someone else. Oh, and when new versions come out, you would upgrade, but that might bring the whole system down. Now, this is for one app. When you multiply these headaches across dozens or hundreds of apps, it's easy to see why the biggest companies with the best IT departments aren't getting the apps they need. Small businesses don't have a chance. Cloud computing is a better way to run your business. Instead of running your apps yourself, they run on a shared data center. You just plug in, like a utility. This makes it fast to get started and costs less. It's like Gmail compared to Microsoft Exchange. With Gmail, do you need servers and storage? No. Do you need a technical team to keep it up and running? No. Do you have to do upgrades? No. When you use any app that runs in the cloud, you just log in, customize it, and start using it. That's the power of cloud computing. This model is so much better, it's changing the way we think about software. Not just for consumer apps, it's also being used for business apps. We call this enterprise cloud computing. Businesses are running all kinds of apps in the cloud these days, including custom-built apps. Why? Because you can be up and running in a few days, which is unheard of with traditional business software. They cost less because you don't need to pay for all the people, products, and facilities to run them. And it turns out they're more scalable. more secure and are more reliable than the vast majority of apps out there. Here's why. They're based on an architecture called multi-tenancy. With a multi-tenant app, there isn't a copy of the app for each business that's using it. It's one app that everyone shares. But it's flexible enough for everyone to customize for their specific needs. It's like a giant office building where everyone shares the infrastructure and services, like security, yet each business can customize their own office space. This means apps are elastic. They can scale up to tens of thousands of users or down to only a few. Upgrades are taken care of for you, so your apps get security and performance enhancements and new features automatically. Now, the way you pay for cloud apps is also different. Forget about buying servers and software. When your apps run in the cloud, you don't buy anything at all. It's all rolled up into a predictable monthly subscription, so you only pay for what you use. Finally, cloud apps don't eat up your valuable IT resources, so your CFO will love it. And you can focus on projects that really impact the business, like deploying more apps. Cloud computing is a simple idea, but it can have a huge impact on your bottom line. For more information, go to salesforce.com/cloudcomputing.
So, I'm gonna come back to our lecture and I'm going to ask you about what new comprehensions do you have after this film and after this video. Who is ready to answer? Yes, you can. For instance, Google search, yes, and online document system, and etc. Yes, and who else? Add information, any information about this film? Yes, you may. Please speak louder, please, a little bit louder.
I want to build our ecosystem. This account is part of technology, and you can see our address of your residence and available register and also Amazon.
As usual, if you want exactly for you, for which emphasis do you usually use in cloud technology that emphasizes film?
Yes, I have a technology because it's very important and very comfortable technology in the world. And I do every day use good technologies for work, for study, and I can use good technology everywhere on the university.
And gives you some achievements, yes, it's everyday life achievements or it's a plus points, yes, if you know. Yes, let's get started and go ahead. And I want to say that and give you additional information. Nowadays, the cloud-based technology and IT industry, what do I mean by that? I mean that the main difference, the cloud technology, if you see on the screen, cloud technology is a technology with a distributed database. I want to emphasize distributed database. It includes different varieties of operating system, online storage information, etc. And nowadays, it is available as a cloud service. And I want to say that in each time, cloud technology gives us an opportunity, for example, for different varieties of reasons and different varieties of working, and online documents, not just online, offline documents to its requirements. Yes, it's a high equipment technology. And now the next, I want to explain you about the main differences. The main differences between cloud technology and cloud computing and between typical software. It's very essential, I want to emphasize, notice that and remember, bear in mind, because it's very essential point of our lecture. The main differences between software and main software and cloud technology is that consumers are not using their resources, their own resources. But in the case, they use resources of the strongly remote services from over the internet. And this fact will permit it to the customer use their own computer resources. But they will not be able to change operating system or database system, counting service and other consoling. They are located in the resources. And I want to emphasize, we're not able at all to change operating system because we just only use them, yes? it's clear, please remember and bear in mind, we just use them. Then the main difference is, because it's very important too, the main difference is, pay attention, cloud technology is usually gives many different reasons for using the online. And cloud technology not just using the everyday life, you're usually sending in different materials, yes, but the storage information in the cloud is save our money, save our time, and it's very convenient for us, yes. And at the same time, I want to say that the provision cloud technology in different infrastructure gives us possibility to use computer technology at the same time with internet technology. And the main idea of using cloud technology is to get fully ready to use services over the internet in each amount in the specific period of time. For this reason, it's very significant to know about the type of model. About the type of model. Regarding of the types, cloud technologies are usually separated by the following three types. There are software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Let's talk about them. Then, the first one, software as a service. What does it mean? Software as a service is a provision, software as a service like the program. It's a type of model that the consumer is capable to use their own cloudness and computer technology at the same time on the cloud technology. And it's usually, for instance, includes a different variety, for instance, social nets or different virtual offices and internet mail, for instance, etc. And CRM systems, for instance, deployment model gives us tremendously varieties and reasons. For instance, the software payment system, only two including and different online document system. You usually set, for instance, you usually set the software every day by using the software, not just software programs and application programs, yes? And one is the most important software operating system, do you know? And the second one is a platform. Platform is a service. What does it mean? Platform you see on the screen is including different variety, database system, hosting, network access with a high security, because security is the main essential point, yes. And platform as a service is a provision and using for the testing and deploying and supporting for the service, application technology as a service. It means different application programs like OneSea, Bittrex, or OneSea Enterprise, and different kinds and diversity of SQL servers and web servers and hosting programs, so which checking out of high tested programs. Yes, the platform means the main idea. And the third one is that I have already said about it, infrastructure as a service. What does it mean? Infrastructure as a service, it's a provision of ability to independently manage and operating processing, which gives us the processing main available now with the cloud services. Do you know about the database management? What is the management? Management means if you usually give us information, the big data information. Yes, usually the search system like Google system or Yahoo, Yandex system, etc. You use everyday life. You usually use them, and you are able to independently manage and operate system and operate the database system and accounting service. And infrastructure at the same time can be owned at the same time with the other types model. And what does it, cloud technology, and I want to emphasize and pay attention that the provision computing possibility is different virtual infrastructure equipment with high technology and equipped volume gives us many opportunity to change or to modify different operating system by using them online documents or offline documents. And regarding for this reason, we usually set different varieties of using internet technology and at the same time with cloud technology and cloud computer system. And now the next about the cloud services, because nowadays the recently past years and recently years, the many different of cloud technology has been developing very rapidly and actively, and nowadays it's very important and just very popular among people, among pupils, among students, etc. Yes, and it's usually using anywhere, everywhere. And then the most of the operating and management system of database processing is usually available like cloud technology services. And about the cloud technology services, I will emphasize the cloud technology services, and I want to ask you about the examples and very often use the cloud technology. I want to ask you what kind of exactly cloud technology do you know? Cloud technology services, and what exactly do you usually use, and why do you usually exactly is this cloud services? Who is ready to share with his opinion?
Ask saving information on the clouds.
Yes, additional information.
The next service of cloud technology is another service. Provide the ability to test the local or cloud service ability to test local or cloud system using test software and the treatment regular other internet.
And what about you? It's in what differences? And why? And how do you usually use the cloud service? You, Ajam, for example.
For example, information service. Information service is possible markets, as any kind of information may change every minute or every second.
Yes, every daily life, yes, is usual. By not chatting, by learning a subject, for instance. For instance, searching information, etc. is especially for reasonable reasons for students. Do you agree or disagree with these girls? No? Who is it then? Afro wants, yes, you may.
I would like to add, substantially, the user interest in the cloud has increased after the announcement by the internet giant from...
It gives us just incredibly, I want to say that about the opportunity, yes? Nowadays, I want to say that IT industry is revolving way, is around built out and adoption in a new platform. We have already said about it. And cloud computing or cloud technology, it's a very significant point of our lecture, and we usually use not just by chatting, not just by research. You can able to promote your job. I have already said about it, yes? And cloud technology concern, I usually use the cloud technology for my scientific investigate or for my scientific research, and I want to emphasize maybe, I don't know, maybe you are able to chatting or to give very recent information and very famous and very important information for you exactly. And I consider, I feel convinced that the cloud technology nowadays is one of the most popular and one of the most widespread technology in our modern life, because it gives us not just opportunity, it gives us save money and saves the time, and the security is very high level, and the application program and software program is very the biggest. Yes, without any difficulty, you use every daily life. You usually use, and we usually use like consumers and like as the users from over the internet. And you see on the slide, we have already said that about the cloud services and different varieties. Your everyday life, you usually use the email, Outlook system or internet system, and internet system by payment system, yes. And in different varieties and different sphere of your job, you usually use the cloud services, because nowadays it's available. It's a pretty available. It's just enough. And you usually have the different varieties of choosing, yes, choice is very wide. Because nowadays the IT industry is revolving, and IT industry is connected is internet technology. And do you know about the internet technology has already gives you different varieties. For instance, matter about the issues. If you face up any problems and problematic situation, you usually use the technology and search the solving. And in order to solve the problem, we usually use the cloud technology too at the same time. Yes. And who is also to add your point, your own opinion? Maybe you have a very big idea or new idea about the cloud technology, because every day you usually use them, but nobody knows them. I don't know, maybe it's different varieties of reasons. Who is else? Who is also to add? Ahror, you answer?
Yes. Of course, yes. And if you work in with your mail and on the service side, this is nothing more than a cloud service. It automatically your letters, stores your letters, photos, videos, documents, and so on.
Right. Different varieties of reasons, yeah. And who is ready to answer these questions to the students? I want to emphasize that what you usually do with the cloud technology everyday life, and what exactly do you usually, what kind of technology and services do you know? Do you know that? You?
I usually use cloud technology for...
Speak louder, please. Speak a little bit slow.
I use cloud technology every day for my family, for my friends, classmates. I send their invited documents, music, or image, and so on. This cloud technology, if you have internet, you can use anyway.
Yes, of course, you are right. Yes, I completely agree with you, but do you agree or disagree? Who is answer? For instance, Gauhar, what do you say about it? You disagree or agree, or you have your own choice?
Well, first, I agree with her, and cloud technology is necessary for us, and we can send photos, movies, and send messages, and short programs.
Short time system, yes, with GitLab.
And I didn't know about it before, and this lecture I know what it means.
Exactly after the video film, which has emphasized, yes, how exactly the cloud technology will help us is different problematic and complicated situation, yes? The situation is the big difficulty, but without any difficulty, we usually solve them with the cloud technology. And go ahead and let's continue. The other types of cloud technology, you show virtual office, have you already said, and accounting systems. As usually, it's very famous and widespread because everyday life we usually use. Google Documents is permitted us to, you can easily create or modify, change and share with your friends, maybe with your distinguished scholars, and with information have you already received. Yes, it's a Google Documents, it's a wide choice. Wide choice and always time, it's usually very often used. And cloud service Google Documents has already researched by the chatting, by researching system. Research system gives not just important information, but is usually only about using cloud technology, and it requires a high quality of application technology at the same time. I want to emphasize that and notice them. And dear students, bear in mind it's very significant questions because not just Google Documents and other documents too, offline and online, it's usually, I've already said, by using the cloud technology. And now the next, I want to describe you and talk to tell you about the deployment model of cloud technology. What does it mean, the deployment model? You see on the slide. Deployment model of the structure, usually cloud technology or cloud computing, regarding of the deployment model are usually divided by the following 4 types. They are, you see on the slide, they are private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. And what does it mean exactly? It's each cloud types. Let's find out about it. The first one I want to say that about the private cloud. What does it mean, private cloud? Private cloud is the infrastructure intended and designed for using only by one organization or some units and some combination of thereof. And usually private clouds can be owned, managed, and can be operating by the commercial, by the units of one organization, there are other departments and third party of. And private clouds is usually gives over the internet all the service is a necessity for the consumers and providing to, and usually consumers are available and you usually receive them, for instance by email, for instance for other network system. We usually use the one is the most widespread deployment model. It's a private cloud. And about the second types. Second types I have already said, and public cloud. What does it mean, the public cloud? Public cloud is usually an infrastructure intended for using for the free using for general public like you, like me, in the everyday life. If you decided to use a computing clouding system, we usually include and joining exactly in public cloud. Yes? Do you know, do you face up with the situation by using the cloud technology or no? Who is else? Who is the answer to these questions? After is usually to work with the private cloud or no? But there is a private cloud, no? It's a private cloud. It's very convenient for us. Why exactly? Because private cloud, if you don't have any information system or a flash system or disk system, yes, for instance, any information you have, but you have the same time very big information and very big size database system or big data system with development, and then at the same time is the situation. Cloud technology and the deployment models will help us exactly in the information storage. The main idea is information storage and backupping system. What does it mean, the backupping system and storage information? Because the system of cloud technology, some wells maybe they requires your initial password. Yes, in order to avoid losing your password, we usually requires a very high security system. The security system is usually very spread using. For instance, for not just payment system. For instance, you have the card system. Yes, the bank system is usually used and card system. They require the city security. What does it mean? The 3D security system is a high level security because it's to help us avoid the illegal access to the information. Yes, sanction in jurisdictions for the other files and information is usually you have. And public cloud will help us with working by the internet technology. At the same time, with I want to emphasize, with the cloud computing or cloud technology too. And the third one is a hybrid cloud. What does it mean, the hybrid? Hybrid, it means usually a combination. And hybrid cloud is a combination of 2 or more different types of infrastructure. For instance, public cloud and software, public cloud and hybrid cloud, or community cloud and private cloud, etc. And their combination is usually the same time using the all together. For instance, hybrid cloud can be owned, managed, and processing by the commercial offices, by the commercial organization, or healthcare, even education, and even a government system. Yes, everyday life, and they can be owned. Usually, they are interconnected with the application technology system. Now, the next we talk about the deployment model of our cloud system technology and the ability and possibility of cloud technology is very, very significant, because it's by using the cloud technology we usually face up the different situation, and in order to solve them we usually to receive or refer to state programs as programs which are located in the cloud. And hybrid clouds gives us some solving system about this. And security is to the very high level. And the fourth type of deployment model is that community cloud. What does it mean, community? Community, it means community cloud represent us and gives us possibility to use several organizations the same time work on the same clouds, because they given that they have a similar point, similar requirements and concern. Because instead of, for instance, the one bright example and examples of using cloud technology in this case of community cloud is that organization have a similar needs points. For instance, instead of giving them the allocated resources over the internet, the provider system and the big consumer companies gives and suggests them to join together, and then they have the same, they save time, they save money too, and at the same time it's very convenient for each companies which including in this community cloud. Yes, the another example, for instance, you usually use different organization or state organization like government system. Yes, nowadays, do you know, and digital system is our Kazakhstan, independent Kazakhstan is very high level, because we have an EGOV. Yes, do you know about EGOV? For instance, electronic government, we usually use and solve the different problems, not just the statement problems, but you usually use everyday life for users and consumers. Yes, and the community cloud gives the same time the using with the security system too. And I want to say about the different varieties and providers, customers, which represent and provide their main idea and working system with cloud technology. It's a Google, it's an App Engine, Google or Microsoft Azure.com or Google Documents with the other different search system. And we usually, if you have a big database system, very big data system like search system, community cloud will help us too, because the integration systems, the same time they were able to independently manage all the time independently manage the information which including in the file storage. And backupping storage is very necessary too, because the backupping is required usually if you lose your password or if you lose the main system of software which gives your main working of using computer technology or computing technology with the cloud technology at the same time. We usually, the private cloud and the different varieties of reasons, we have already said about it, we usually we usually use them. Yes, and go ahead. Do you have any question about this? You know about the main benefits and main benefits for consumer like you, like me, and etc. Yes. Do you have any idea or new idea after this sentence? After this video we have already said, and we usually, do you know, cloud technology, not just cloud technology, maybe innovation technology, computer digital information technology and other, etc. usually have a main big benefits. Yes, benefit, it means advantages. And what kind of advantages do you know about the cloud technology? Who's ready to answer or share with your opinion? Who is ready to share with you about the benefits? Any ones?
Yes, cloud and also for distance learning. And I have a question. What service on the cloud technologies services?
Yes, it's very right question. It's very necessary and essential point of our lecture. It's usually, if you usually use a cloud technology, it's very needed with internet connection. And no matter where do you live, no matter where do you stay or do you study or working, you need internet technology, because the cloud technology and cloud computer system is needed in internet connection. You always can access with the database system. And the main providers like Microsoft Azure, for instance, Google Apps Engine Company and others, etc., with big data systems. Yes, you are very right to just emphasize. It's usually a very spread system with usually, for instance, for students, not just for students, for varieties for consumers and the providers at the same time too. And emphasize and bear in mind, dear students, I want to emphasize this: if you don't have an internet connection, you lose the work with the computer technology and cloud technology too. Yes, etc. And now the other benefits. What kind of benefits do you know? Who's else about the benefits? Gopal, do you know about any benefits by the using computer clouding or computing receptions?
Maybe it's saving time.
Yes, the save time and the save your losing and the illegal access to the information. Yes, the benefits. There's some kinds of benefits you usually use already set by the slide, and the other benefits exactly for you. The every daily life you usually use, and how exactly how conveniently for you, for instance for you. What does it mean?
No need for computing power of the PC in fact any smartphones and tablets and so on. When opening a browser window resides any more potential.
Yes, of course, you are right too. And we have many different varieties of benefits. You pay attention on the board, and you see save money, and lose the control of the high security system. And I want to emphasize about the previous slide and the next slide about the cloud services provided to main the benefits. And the main benefit is that fully automatic access to the description and software. But unfortunately, we have a disadvantages too. You have everything usually have a plus points and minus points, yes? And we have benefits and disadvantages. And disadvantages, one of the big disadvantages is the high security system. Because as far as I'm concerned, not just at a risk of losing your password and the personal information. Because in additional security of our company, one company lays or other hand, yes, or another hand of the different varieties of company, and you're losing your password and losing your control and high security system is one of big disadvantages and minus point. But in comparison, I want to say that in comparison with benefits and drawbacks, yes, benefits lag much more higher than disadvantages. Do you agree with me? Because the disadvantages are not just very spread. Disadvantages, for instance, not just losing your passwords, but the benefits gives us many different plus points. Yes, you can usually create and share the different information for your job and receive and include and even upgrade your system. Yes, with the cloud technology, and you including the by internet technology and using them disadvantages. Then and other disadvantages is that the requirement model. Yes. And many disadvantages requirements. And in conclusion, I want to say that gives your knowledge, use the knowledge and go ahead and be successful. And be successful independent of Kazakhstan, yes? And finally, I want to say that thank you for your attention. Dear our guests, dear our teacher or students, do you have any questions for me or for each other? Please, I listen to you. У вас есть вопросы, пожелания, кто хочет выступить или сказать, что, пожалуйста.
Интернет арқылы мына экранның ар жағында тұр. Дұрыс па? Через скайп арқылы не басқа да байланыс жолдары арқылы сіздер байланыса аласыздар. Бірақ сіздер өздеріңіздің перспективаларыңызды ашу үшін ағылшын тілі қажет болып тұр. Ол халықаралық. Сондықтан да сіздер өздеріңіздің болашақтарыңызды жалпы мына жақсы карьера жасаймын, болашағыма нық сеніммен қадам басамын десеңіздер, қазірден бастап ағылшын тілін. Бүгінгі мына ашық сабақтың негізгі мақсаты біздің деңгейіміз қандай болу керек, біз болашақта қандай деңгейге дейін ұмтылуымыз керек. Сол мақсатта сіздер де ертең болашақтағы мұғалімсіздер, оқытушысыздар. Сіздеріңізде ағылшын деңгейлеріңіз осындай деңгейде болу керек деген мақсатпен біз ұйымдастырып отырған ашық сабағымыз. Жас мұғалімдерге, сіздерге, сіздер де болашақта мұғалімсіздер. Рахмет сіздерге.
Баршаларыңызға үлкен рахмет. Назардан тыс қалмаңыздар. Тек қана біздің ғана сабақты емес, жалпы барлық сабақты жақсы оқуға тырысыңыздар, құрметті студенттер, құрметті қонақтар, ұстаздар, оқытушылар, әріптестер, сіздерге де үлкен рахмет келіп қатысқандарыңызға.